It's Whimsy time. This year has seen a lot of new additions to the clan, but sadly a lot of losses as well.
Once again, the first death we faced this year came from one of the guests, a young former rogue named Flail. She was only in the clan for 3 moons, as on her first patrol she fell into a pit and broke her jaw. Although Hyacinth tried to heal her, the damage went deeper than they initially thought, and she ended up passing away because of an infection. Softbee was another guest in the clan. She was a runaway from one of the other clans, taken in by WhimsyClan's young mediator, Flurry. Softbee was generally pretty well liked, and she was praised for her cleverness. But unfortunately, she never had a real opportunity to earn her place in WhimsyClan, as she was killed by rogues only 2 moons after she joined. This next death was probably one of the tougher ones on the clan, as it was Shining Ice, or as you probably knew him before, Icy Kit. Not only was Shining Ice the son of the leader and the deputy, but he had seemed to truly be a prodigy, learning incredibly quickly and receiving his warrior name in record time. As a kid, he even gave his half-sister Squeezepaw a bunch of raven feathers, a really sweet parallel to the friendship gifts shared by their respective mothers. But unfortunately, less than a moon after Shining Ice's warrior graduation, he tried to go head-to-head with a badger and was sadly killed. Shining Ice is one of the cats in StarClan that chooses to proudly show his scars.
Downy Paw was trained by Olive Branch and Cream Fluff as a team. And she learned a lot from them, including how to chase after all of the things that she wanted in life. And what was it that she wanted? Billow. She found the loner and begged her to come to the clan. The two of them were actually pretty sweet together, which is why it was such a tragedy when they were killed by a dog.
Mistcloud did not have an easy time convincing the clan that she was worth keeping around. She argued a lot with her apprentice and had a bad habit of getting into trouble, such as when she was caught sharing tongues with rogues, or when she stole a sandwich from a 2-leg. However, despite all of this, she did help Featherpaw reach warriorhood, and it was decided she had earned her place. Unfortunately, this did not last long, as during a particularly bad rainstorm, Mistcloud fell into the river. The mediator, Berry Spot, leaped in to try and save her, but unfortunately, he just ended up drowning too. The one silver lining is that now in StarClan, he's meeting one of his stillborn siblings. They don't have an official name, but I'm calling them Sheepkit, because look at them. They're fluffy. Last, but certainly not least, we received confirmation through some of our outsider allies that our previous leader, Lyrestar, has passed away. Although it's sad to know that she's gone, it is comforting to know that she'll be guiding us in StarClan now. So of course we've got to start out by checking in on the leading throuple. It was honestly a year of ups and downs for this trio. Snowstar had a difficult kidding, and it left her weak and ill. She ended up contracting an infection which took one of her lives. However, she considered it well worth it, as she had the honor of mentoring her son herself. Then later, Mimosa Stream delivered her second litter of kittens, who are now apprentices. Tragedy struck them at the loss of Shining Ice, and Mimosa Stream was the one to really comfort Snowstar. This led to Mimosa Stream and Snowstar announcing that they were officially mates as well, which means we have our complete throuple. So Hyacinth has finally gotten the assistance that he had been so hopeful for. Not one, but two of Mimosa Stream's children have chosen to follow the path of healing. The first was Squeezepaw, who had shown an interest in prophecy while in the nursery. She trained incredibly hard to be a healer, honing her skills as a climber and a runner in the hopes that her skills would one day prove useful in an emergency. Because of her determination, as well as her skills as an herbalist, she was given the name Squeezeleaf. However, life may be throwing a wrench in her plans, as just like her mentor, she slipped on some ice and broke her leg. But while she is stuck in camp, her little brother, Lemonpaw, is promising to take up her same training regimen, as he is Hyacinth's newest apprentice, and just as interested in climbing as his sister is. Although the two remaining mediators are very different from one another, they have proven to be an excellent team. While Skillstreak's specialty comes in helping cats deepen their existing relationships, acting as a couples counselor and a family therapist, Florimos is a bit of a more casual mediator, usually just joining cats for a quick yapping session, or encouraging them to go out and make new friends. If all else fails, she'll tag along with them, because goodness knows she's good at conversation starters. Starting off the warrior section, we have one of our cats who is on trial, so to speak. Taco joined halfway through the year at the same time as Billow, as the two of them were actually close friends before joining the clan. Already, Taco has proven himself to be a pretty likable cat, and everyone's sure it will be no time until he's a full clan member. To prove his worth, he has taken up the training of Limepaw, one of Orange and Mimosa's kids. Himiko, meanwhile, did not join until a bit later. And admittedly, he's not having quite as easy of a time fitting in. He is a runaway kitty pet who ran off because he craved adventure, but he's really not sure if it's all it's cracked up to be. Fierce Bee is yet another newcomer to the clan. However, unlike either Taco or Himiko, Fierce Bee has already managed to earn her way into being considered a full clan member. This happened because she rescued Mimosa Stream from a fox. And given that Mimosa is one of the leader's mates, that earns you a lot of favor. She also rescued an injured cat called Cinderwool. As for Cinderwool herself, there's really not much to say about her. She was found close to the Thunderpath by Fierce Bee, and right now she's in the medicine den recovering from her injuries. In the meantime, Fierce Bee has taken up mentoring, training the excitable and unruly son of Mimosa Stream and Orange Juice, Applepaw. She certainly has her work cut out for her, though, as this troublesome apprentice is quite the prankster. At one point, he planted a dead snake in the entrance of camp. He thought it was hilarious. Cream Fluff and Olive Branch have, of course, remained inseparable. They both took turns being stuck in the medicine den, with Cream Fluff getting over her mangled leg from last year, and Olive Branch having gotten her own leg clawed up by a rogue called Pike, which has given her a permanent limp. But she's remained pretty positive about it, so that's good. The two of them eventually decided that they should make their bond official, and have become mates. At the end of the year, Cream Fluff found an abandoned kitten named Rootkit, who the pair have taken in as their adoptive daughter. After over a year of searching, the clan finally found the missing Splotchpaw and convinced her to come home. She was happy to return to the clan that had raised her, but she didn't return alone. She brought along her new mate, a sharp-eyed, serious tomcat called Tornpelt. She received the warrior name of Splotchfeather, and the pair are already expecting their first litter. And now we've got one of my favorite little Blorbos, the silly, precious, wonderful Specklebug. Specklebug had a fairly average year, making a lot of new friends and playing with them. She did at one point get into a fight with a fox, which got her a mangled leg. After a while of convalescing and being very restless, her leg healed, but unfortunately, it will always be a little awkwardly twisted and not really comfortable to walk on. But she's kept a pretty good attitude about it, so maybe things are going to be alright for our dear Speckle. Also, editing Ginger here, she is 33 moons old, not 21. With some help from the wonderful orange juice, Frillpaw has become more adventurous and really embraced her natural talents. Some could say she's even gotten a little too ambitious, like the time she tried to sneak out of camp in the hopes of taking down a badger all by herself, or when she tried to save a kitty pet from a dog, only for the kitty pet to yell at her for scaring her puppy friend. Or that time she tripped over a bunch of rocks set out by the kits and dislocated her shoulder. But despite all of these mishaps, Frillpaw earned her warrior name and is now called Frillstripe. Featherpaw admittedly didn't have a very easy apprenticeship. At the beginning of the year, they came out as non-binary, and then they got into a fight with their mentor. I do need to clarify, the fight with Mistcloud had nothing to do with Feather's gender identity. In WhimsyClan, all identities are valid. Frustrated with their mentor, Featherpaw ran off and accidentally crossed the Plume Clan border. Suddenly, a large dog burst out of the bushes. Featherpaw was helped into a tree by a warrior of Plume Clan, but they still managed to get a broken bone in the ordeal. Eventually they healed, and they became a warrior. Following in the example of Hyacinth, Feather decided they would just keep a one-part name. And with their new name, they seemed to gain new confidence, as the next time they faced a dog, they not only got out of it with barely any scratches, but they kept the leader safe as well. Citrus Paw has proven to be a real spitfire of a cat, always sticking her nose into things. She frequently causes trouble, especially for her sister Squeezeleaf. At one point, Citrus Paw dared her sister to show her where they grew deathberries. She also got into a fight with a Plume Clan cat, which led to her being bitten on the leg. Because of the infection she got, Citrus Paw was left with a permanent limp. Still, she didn't lose her spirit, constantly egging her clanmates on to play in the snow and cause mischief. Because of this, she was named Citrus Spirit. Fresh Paw is the daughter of Mimosa Stream and Orange Juice. While she is absolutely adored by her parents, she can also be a bit frustrating. Freshpaw has been an overachiever since the moment she was born, as she managed to peel her eyes open in record time. Now she is apprenticed to her leader and stepmother, Snowstar, something which she has no problem lording over her siblings. Thank you as always for joining me, And I hope you enjoyed this year of WhimsyClan. I've already started work on year 4, so look forward to that fairly soon.